Quick, he said that the top 10% pay 70%, not the top 1%. Or he said that the top one. He said that we said that the top 1% pay 70%, and we said it was the top 10%. Just to clarify that. And he also said that money going into welfare is important. It's important for those who don't abuse it, because a lot of people abuse welfare. So I'm going to kind of discuss the workability of their policy. And the first thing is alternate causality, and the thing that's going into like the Social Security or the thing that's going into like debt and welfare and all that. The problem with that is the spending, not so much how much we're making or how much we're putting towards it. So to start off, the spending that the government does is a little excessive, such as Social Security, pensions, and welfare. For Social Security, America has this huge sense of entitlement. Franklin D. Roosevelt started Social Security in 1936, and benefits have increased in percentage and in numbers because of population. So like the baby boomers are all now retiring, so the government can't keep up and sustain the Social Security. Also pensions. The government has promised a ton of things like pensions. An article written by Joan Goldwasser in Linger's magazine stated that a police commander has been working 20 years, and he was making roughly $100,000 a year. His pension is 80% of his salary. That means that the government is going to pay $80,000 for this man to work, not work. And this is going on for like government officials, everything. People are getting paid to not work. Which brings me to welfare. There is no incentive for people to leave welfare. There are several people who refuse to take a job because an available job doesn't pay what they used to make. So they think, why would I work when the government can pay for me to not work? So the issue with welfare is not that we need to fund these people who do not want to fund themselves. It's that we need to find a way for them to get off of welfare in general. The Wall Street Journal does some fact-checking. Even if the rich gets defined down to the top 10% of filers, whose average annual household income is 114%, the level of revenue from even 100% tax would still not close the budget gap. So we'd still be in a deficit. Even if we tax these people at 100%, we'd still be in a deficit. So it's not going to do much. Also with the workability, the circumvention, people are going to get around it. He kind of stated himself that people are paying 24% when the current bracket's at 35%. And that's because of like investments. According to data from the Nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation, the tax code is riddled with more than $1 trillion in deductions and exemptions and credits, and they benefit people at every income level. So not only are the rich kind of going around taxes, but like the middle class are too. So back to investments. Those who make money through investments, such as stocks and alternative investments, pay 15% on the money they make. So opposed to what the 43% that they are offering. And if you think about it, the wealthy don't make their money off of wages. They make their money off of investments. So the wealthy are already not going to pay a lot. According to the IRS in 2009, taxpayers who made $1 million or more paid on average 24.4% of their income in federal income taxes. So again, they're going around and finding other ways to save on taxing. According to the Internal Service in 2009, 1,470 households filed tax returns with incomes above $1 million, yet paid no federal income taxes. Again, they found a way to get around it. To address the feasibility, the support from the government would kind of be hard to get with this proposition, because let's face it, the government is owned by the rich, and the rich aren't really going to offer to tax themselves, except for people like Warren Buffett, who's like the second wealthiest man in the world. So he's kind of an exception because he has so much money, he doesn't know what to do with it all. So the disadvantages is that the wealthy would want to move away. She discussed that earlier. Like states like New York and New Jersey have really high tax rates. So a quote from the New Jersey local news. 3/4 of those who expressed interest in leaving the state have an annual income over $100,000, while 15% earn more than $1 million, according to a survey. So basically, if you're going to tax the wealthy of the wazoo, why would they stay here? Why would they not go to another country? You're going to push the people who are making you money away. The Heritage Foundation, Curtis Dubé, explains the consequences of the president's latest tax proposal, which is again to also tax the wealthy. Taxpayers earning more than $1 million per year are investors and businesses that are directly responsible for creating jobs. Investors provide the capital to existing businesses and startups so they can expand and add new workers. Raising the tax rates of these investors would deprive them of the resources that they could use to invest in other promising businesses that are looking to add employees. So raising their tax rate will deter them from investing their money. So if you tax the rich even more than they already are, then they're not going to have as much money to pump back into the economy. Cypress Semiconductor founder and CEO T.J. Rogers stated that you start taxing the wealth creators in the world, which are younger guys like me right now. We're simply going to move a bunch of money from productive investments to Washington. So, this guy who's making billions of dollars, making money, pumping it back into the economy, and then you have the government, who is $15 trillion in debt. Who are you going to trust with more money? I'm going with the guy who's making billions of dollars. So, that's it for now.